what's up everyone, Maury Croson here, and today we'll be talking about improving your wrist speed when you're throwing the ball. This is something that I think is super important for quarterbacks to be able to generate more velocity on the throw, right? So make it so it goes from point A to point B faster, and I think that's going to be super important when you're throwing like out routes, comebacks, anything like that. If you like the information, go ahead and click the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave those down below, or even any recommendations, leave those down below. We'll hop in the video right now. All right, so really with this video, the main point is to really show you exactly, how guys like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, all those guys are able to generate so much force on the ball by just adding more of a wrist flick and just getting more speed out of the wrist. And I think this is a very, very common mistake that I see with quarterbacks, is they're just not generating as much overall speed with the wrist, which is going to really impact their velocity. So, the big thing that ends up impacting that is going to be if you get the ball too far back here when you're driving the elbow through and bringing the wrist through, it really doesn't travel very far, right? So from here to, it just ends up being kind of a lateral movement, right? Or you're here, so you end up just kind of moving the arm more like this, where like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, what they do a really good job of is they keep that ball a little bit further back here, so now they get a straight kind of action with that wrist as they're coming through. So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like here to be able to help you better understand exactly what some of the differences are, and really what ends up being the main thing is as you're bringing the ball back, just making sure that you don't get the ball to go too far back here, being able to keep it in that position. And some of the just easy, simple drills that I do is, I just start here, right? Start with the ball here, and then from there, just kind of drive that elbow through from that position. I'll also go from here and just kind of allow that arm to kind of reach back, right? And then just get used to being able to throw from that position so that I know what it feels like. And then I'll also even just work on being able to get the arm up here and being able to kind of flick that wrist as it's coming through. So just a few different tips there that can help you, simple, easy drills, just things you can do during your warm up, but when you do it consistently over a period of time, will really make a big difference on your throw. Another big thing with this is just the actual position that the ball leaves your hand is really important. So the longer you can hold it, the more out in front that ball can get. When it gets released, the better off you're going to be with your throw. All right, so I really just want to be able to show in slow motion here what it really looks like. And really what you want to be able to do is get to this position the best that you can. So you can see how much kind of external rotation I'm getting to, and I'm really trying to keep the ball like as far away from my head as I possibly can. It's like, when I go and I watch the actual film, I'm even surprised that even, from this angle gets behind my head at all, just because of how far away I'm trying to keep it, which just shows that the shoulder is going to naturally get that ball back to some degree. But yeah, it's all about being able to get as much external rotation, so trying to get that ball back as far as you can with the elbow and ball kind of being aligned with each other, right? So it would even be better if I can get the ball a little bit further out to make it so everything's nice and even, because the more stretch you can create here, right, the better off you're going to be. So now from essentially this position, I'm just working on trying to fire that wrist through as fast as I possibly can to really be able to maximize the turnover that the ball will end up having from just my grip alone, from my hand alone. So you can see from here, and what ends up happening too is you kind of want to work to the point where you can get the hand almost like to the direct side of the ball. So I see a lot of guys end up getting their hands really far underneath the ball, and that's going to make it so you end up pushing it more. Where for me, I'm trying to, and one of the things that I've kind of done, a little tip or trick that I've done to be able to work on this is now you can see the separation that I have in my fingers. I try to make it so my finger is a little bit closer to the nose of the football. So then when it's coming off of my hand, you can see how I'm able to really get that push. You can see how my index finger is still kind of attached there, so I could really push off of it and make it so I can get a nice flick on the ball. And it just gives me a lot more control as I'm coming through and as I'm releasing the ball. In terms of making it so I can get a good solid spiral there. And you can also see the turnover there. So yeah, just really making sure that you can get that ball as far back as you can, and then be able to really drive all the way through is the key to being able to just add more velocity on the throw. And that's something that I think is super, super important. Again, as you go into, the higher levels, it's important to be able to throw the ball 50, 55, 60 yards, having a lot of distance, but it's also very important to have that velocity, be able to squeeze it in between a safety and a linebacker, or in between a corner and a safety. So being able to have that ability is equally as important. And I think by being able to work the wrist snap and just even the overall growth that ends up happening when you start snapping the wrist with more effectiveness is going to lead to tremendous improvement, not only in the velocity or throwing distance, but also in your actual accuracy, because now you'll have a more fundamental understanding of exactly where the ball wants to be coming off your hand, which makes it so it's a lot easier to be able to dictate exactly where the ball's going, rather than a lot of quarterbacks that just don't have a very good kinesthetic awareness or just awareness of what's going on within the hand, the wrist, the fingers, and that makes it so it's a lot more difficult to be accurate. So the better you can feel what's going on with your fingers and your wrists, the better you're going to do in all phases of being able to throw as a quarterback. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. You can go ahead and check out some of the stuff down below in the description to help you out with getting either a breakdown, checking out our throw programs. There's a lot of things that we're doing to be able to help you out as a quarterback University. There's a lot of free trials that we have going on as well. So check all that out below, and looking forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks for watching.